refurbishment and commercial buildings and hotels, etc. On Githera alone, George has built over 60 homes. He's the quiet achiever, not very well known, keeps to himself, doesn't market himself, word of mouth. No one I know yet has a bad word to say about him. On Githera, George, my other partner, Panos Mavromatis, was born in Piraeus, but of Githera origin. He is the son of Emmanuel Mavromatis from Pitsinades. He's a graduate of the National Technology University in Architectural Engineering. His 20 years career involved in numerous projects, including houses, shops, hotels, etc. Panos is also very keen on interior design and runs a business that sells lighting, fittings and furniture, and that's where we get our furniture pack from. Most of the time he spends dealing with the public authorities in Athens. He's our man on the ground in Athens, daily at that, getting those approvals. And he has vast knowledge in the legislation involved, which is pretty cool.
Can I ask a question?
Excuse me, can I ask questions? It'll be at the end, please, because we have speakers to get through, but there'll also be an opportunity for people to approach the speakers.
I'm going tonight to the dance, happy to talk to you all night.
Yeah, thank you.
And bore you.
No, people would respect that, please,
there.
but there will be the opportunity to speak to them after their talk.
There's some of the homes that George has built on the island already, but he's built over 60 of them. All for Australians, Europeans, Athenians, some locals, etc. Alright, just to sum up, I've travelled to Githera on average twice a year. Love the place, can't get enough of it. I was there in July and I'll be back there in 4 weeks' time. Light the fireplace, go to Beers for lunch, all that. Can't wait. Dying to get there. This business has evolved as a passion for Githera. It's a hobby. I love it. It's not work. Which I realise, speaking to others of my age that I meet in Githera all the time, you know, the Alex Porters of this world who's over there at the moment, setting the place on fire. Some of you might have heard what he's up to. You know, it's becoming a growing trend. It's the next generation. For some reason, we're drawn back. My kids love it. I said to my daughter once, we're not going to Githera this year, just for a joke. She paused. She said, Dad, is it money? I went, yeah. She said, well, I've got money in my account. I'll pay for it. She goes, that's like telling me there's no Christmas this year. And that's when I realised, my God, geez, even my kids have got it as well, so it's fantastic. I see myself growing this business and helping like-minded Githerians achieve a retirement situation that allows them to enjoy the fruits of Githera more than their parents and their grandparents had time to. That's it. If you want to know more, talk to me later, tonight. We've got a website, www.githera.living.gr. Simple. Happy to chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I think we've all at one time or another wanted to restore family homes or build something there, and there's been a frustration. So I've had a lot to do with building industry in Australia as in my legal capacity, but the frustrations of dealing with the Greek authorities are massive. So the fact that you and your partners have taken this initiative, I think is going to be fantastic news to everybody here. Thank you. So now I'll ask George Poulos to introduce our next speaker. Thank you.
When we introduced Zeli Hadjidimitriou's book about Githera, the Lonely Planet's Guide to Githera, which you can buy from the bookstore, one of the people we invited along was a woman called Karen Alabi. We got to know her at that launch, and then suddenly about 2 months ago, I get a phone call out of the blue, and Karen says to me that she can incorporate a trip to Githera into a travel tour that she wants to do, and that she wants to write up in upmarket magazines such as Deluxe Traveller. So I said to her, you're very welcome to stay at our little Gasanera in the Anastasia, which she did for about 10 or 12 days in the end. And she's just come back via America to Australia the day before yesterday, and today, and we haven't discussed in that whole time what her impressions of Kithera were, so I haven't even asked her one question about it. So I'm looking forward with eager anticipation to Karen Halabi's talk about her impressions of her exhibition to Kithera. Thank you very much.
While they're connecting up the laptop so that we've got some visuals, I'll just start by talking a little bit about what I'm going to be doing here today, and that is that George has asked me to talk about giving a travel writer's impression of Kithera, and then a little bit about what I think might be the prospect or the future of travel in Kithera. I have to start by saying that one of the first people I met in Kithera pulled me aside, and he's from Brisbane, and he has a surname called Poulos, and he said, I hope you're not going to write anything about Kithera, because we don't want anyone to come here. We want to keep it to ourselves. So that gave me a bit of a dilemma, didn't it? Because George wanted me to write something, and here's his cousin telling me, don't write anything, please, stay away. We don't want the droves to stay away, we like it the way it is. So I can understand that. That is the dilemma of Kithera itself. You've got a beautiful place. Do you want any more development? Do you want any more tourists? Well, I can tell you how to get them. But first of all, I'm going to tell you how I ended up there. That is that I got invited to a lunch in Sydney that was hosted by the Kitherian Association. And they had a very, very good presentation, a lot of very good visual material, a lot of good literature books. Quite intrigued me, actually. But at the end of it, I said, well, okay, so yeah, I'll go. How am I going to get there? And that's where it ended. They didn't really know. So I kept this in the back of my head, and I thought, I'd love to go there. It actually intrigued me. And the things that intrigued me were, I'd never heard of it. I thought it was rather interesting that I was told that this is the island from which most Greek Australians come. But I'd never heard of it. I'd heard of Mykonos, Santorini, and a host of others, but I'd never heard of Kithera. The other things that intrigued me were that a lot was discussed at this lunch about the Mentor, the shipwreck, the Mentor, and I thought, that's pretty huge. And then about this expedition, the Antikythera expedition. I actually didn't know anything about Antikythera, but I found out about it, and so I actually was quite intrigued. So I kept it in the back of my mind, as I said, and then I got an invitation to go and do a cruise in the Med. And I thought, okay, well, all I've got to do is hop across from Istanbul to Athens and then hop on a plane and get to Kithera. And I'll be there. So I did that. And initially I was going to stay a couple of nights, and I asked, well, where could I stay? There didn't appear to be too many hotels on the island. The normal thing with travel writers is that we're invited to go somewhere, and then the tourist board, a hotel chain or a large hotel or a large tour operator will host the whole thing. So I was kind of at a bit of a loss there. So I thought, okay, well, I'll stay a couple of nights in a hotel and have a look around. And then George very kindly said, well, you can stay in my house. So I did. And I didn't stay 2 nights. I said I'd stay a week, and then I stayed another week. And then 2 weeks later, I stayed a little bit longer just to attend a couple of special festivals and ceremonies. And it was a wonderful experience. So I'm going to show you, if I can get this started. Ah, something's happened to my screen. It's got very strange. How do I move it? Yeah, it seems to be. What is it? Okay, I've got to get it. So I'll just talk a little while this is happening. Okay, we're away. We're just going to have a look at some shots here while I'm talking a bit about what I love about Kithera, what I discovered I love about Kithera.